A great poet once said, "Here come the Astros burning with desire. Here come the Astros burning, they're on fire. Here come the Astros with winning on their mind. Here come the Astros, number one every time." We're going to talk about this firework edition of Locked on Astros. Let's go, baby.
Alvarez hits a high drive center field. Beer leans back. This game is turned upside down. There's the runner. Fly ball down the right field line. Tucker comes on. Kyle Tucker. This time they finish the job.
Hello and welcome to Locked on Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Huysman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chancey.
We are Locked on Houston Astros, and we hope that you join us for a daily Locked on Astros podcast. My name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on Twitter at Eric Talk Stros. Find the show at Locked on Astros, your team every day. Brett, where can I find you at?
They can find me at H-Town Wheelhouse on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. They can find me at Stros411 on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Always positive. Positive. I love fireworks when they're not on the 4th of July. Always Stros.
All right. Yeah, guys, thank you for making Locked on Astros podcast your first listen every day, whether it's on YouTube. Go ahead and become an everydayer. Go ahead and subscribe to us. Give us a big fat thumbs up and go and make us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Go and check out the Locked on Astros podcast. And the Astros did it. Best case scenario in this series when you're playing a team like the Rangers is winning 3 out of 4, and the Astros did it. I mean, that Saturday game was very depressing. It was one of those things where nothing went right for the Astros, but the rest of the series, they found a way to win. And this game was one of those games that if you would have lost, it would have been one of the worst losses in Astros history, from being up 10-2 and then losing that lead, and then to lose that game, that would have been one of the biggest losses since 1994. And so the Astros were able to have some late inning magic thanks to McCormick and a couple other people. I think Jose Abreu too. But I was just like in amazement what happened there. But the Astros did that. Cristian Javier, bro, he's not good right now. The Astros hit 4 home runs. AL West battle. What is the number down to now? How many games behind are they? And there is an update on Michael Brantley. And let's just say it's not one that you might want to hear. And sometimes it be like that. Brandon Belak is probably going to be starting on Monday. On Tuesday. I keep on forgetting that today is Monday. Tomorrow's Tuesday. So he'll likely be starting the first game against the Rockies. So this game felt like, was it game 5 of the 2017 World Series, where it was like back and forth. And I mean, it was mostly Astros for a while there, but then those stupid Rangers just came back.
I think that's a great analogy, Eric. And, look, you have to tip your hat to the Texas Rangers, because this team is a team that, and it's chronicled on here. I can't shy away from it because there's video evidence all over the place. I really have doubted this Rangers team all season of their authenticity. And they really do fit the bill. I mean, they've got battle-tested, playoff experienced players who have come together on a team that has 0 playoff experience. And the young guns, the Jonah Heims, Adolis Garcia is really having a fine season. I mean, look, what the Rangers have done this season, you have to respect, and they are in first place. But the Astros found a way to win. These were the games, Eric, 2 weeks ago that we were talking about. The Astros, they would lose games that they were supposed to be winning. And when you go up 10-2, if you lose that game, like you said, that would have been kind of a demoralizing defeat, right? Almost like, and I even tweeted it out, like, if you split here and you lose this game, the split and the loss feel a lot worse than before the series saying, hey, I hope we split with the Rangers, right? Because realistically, I thought the Rangers take 2. I kind of picked them to take 3 out of 4, but realistically, I was hanging on a 2-2 split. But what kind of resiliency and credit do these bats get, Eric? Because the bats have been they've been deemed as inconsistent. We've seen their inconsistency. They know they've been inconsistent. But really, lately, the last 6, 7, 8 games, they've constantly scored. and they've been on top of things. They picked up their pitcher. That's what you do. That's what good baseball teams do. When your pitcher's not doing their job, the bats get up and say, it's okay, Javier, we got your back. Because it wasn't bad at first, and it really went off the rails. I kind of question a little bit why Dusty did allow him to go out that next inning, but it all worked out for the Astros in the end.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about that in a second, but I think it has to do with the use of the bullpen, and it's something that
Exactly.
we discussed a lot. I mean, you had Hunter Brown only go 4 innings, and then you had a Dubin only go 4 innings the other day. Even Hunter Brown, did he even go 4 innings? I forgot how many innings he went. But so the bullpens has been taxed a lot recently. And so this was I don't want to say this was a must win, but it was a game that the Astros felt like they had to win. So you saw them bring in Ryan Stanek and Phil Maton early in the game in the 5th inning and 6th inning. And it got to the point where you're like, okay, are we going to go ahead and bring in Brandon Bielak? And breaking news, Brandon Bielak was added to the roster, and we'll talk about him a little bit later. But Sean Dubin was optioned down to AAA. Nothing against Sean Dubin, but this is another thing of them being in position. You have the All-Star break coming up, and they need a fresh arm. They need somebody to take over Ronel Blanco's spot to get Parker Machinsky up. And so what they did was they just sent Sean Dubin down. He did great the other day in his spot start. So I think that they just needed somebody to fill in Ronel Blanco's start. So we'll talk about that in a second, but definitely this was a weird game overall. It's one of those games that if you have blood pressure issues or maybe if you just get frustration or if you have anger management issues and you throw stuff at walls, you probably have a few extra holes in the wall or that type of stuff, or your face might be.
Well, I hope not, man. Look, do not put holes in the wall with the Astros. Apparently they proved it this season. But look, Diaz, the game before, Eric, and I talked about it here on the show, he looked abysmal at the plate. And today he absolutely looked so much better, took better swings. He actually got a home run today. That was nice to see. He only went 1 for 5, but he did connect for a solo shot. Him and McCormick go back to back. Chas McCormick, how do you pick a player of the game? Because you had Abreu do something cool. We'll talk about it in the 4 homers later. Tucker do something. Chas McCormick on defense and offense, to me, I think I give him my player of the game just because of the home run, the catch, later on the RBI. Right. What he's doing is making noise. And we know he is quite possibly on the trading block. You may be flashing the leather of the best center fielder you have on this roster day in and day out. And if that ups his value, I don't know. All I'm saying is if they trade him, they better get something back really good, because Chas McCormick is a big part of this team, Eric. I would hate to see him go.
Yeah, and we do have a comment from Dana Brown that addresses that.
Good.
I just ran across and I didn't see it because I was in San Antonio, but I just saw it today. So we'll definitely talk about that, and does address possibly trading an outfielder. And the most likely candidate is Chas McCormick because he probably has the more trade value. But at the same time, you don't want to trade a guy like him. But it depends. You're going to have to get something. You're going to have to trade something. You can't just trade Jake Myers and expect to get Shohei Ohtani. You're going to have. I don't think the Astros have anything, any talent to get Shohei Ohtani. I'm just giving you an example.
I'll take him.
Well, yeah, I mean there. But Cristian Javier in this game, he showed some signs of having this stuff. And I tried to go back and look at his no-hitter against the Phillies, and he looks a little. I can't really see too much of a difference, but he looks a little bit stiffer now and looks he's not following through. Maybe I'm not a pitching guru and I don't pretend to be, but
Eric, the pitching ninja.
No, I'm not. But I need to look at some more side-by-side comparison. But I'm sure that's what the Astros are doing, and they are more knowledgeable about this than I am. But he looks like against the Phillies, he just looks like he's electric, and the stuff is going. But now it just looks you see flashes of it. Like there's flashes where the ball's rising a little bit, the ball's sinking a little bit. But in today's game, you just didn't really see that, and
No,
it
you
just
did.
it's just kind of frustrating to
Well,
really see that him, like as much as he like carry the Astros and is so good throughout everything. It's just he's struggling right now, and I don't know what to do about that.
yeah. Well, here in a second, I'll tell you about FanDuel because that's who brings us this this episode today. But Javier, look, I just think when you got bet lines on there saying 4.5 strikeout is the line for the game, then you know something's definitely wrong. Well, look, let me tell you what you can be sure of is that you take your first swing at betting on Major League Baseball on FanDuel, you get 10 times your first bet amount in bonus bets up to $200. That's right. Just bet $20 and you'll land $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. That's $200 that you can spend betting everything from the money line to the over and under to who you think is going to hit the first home run or how many strikeouts a pitcher is going to get. Brandon Bielak's going to come up. Are you going to do the over under on strikeouts that they have for him against the Rockies? All on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. Plus, when you win, you can get paid instantly. There's no better place to bet on MLB than FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. So sign up today and visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get your $200 in bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com/lockedon. FanDuel, official partner of Major League Baseball.
And don't forget that if you can't watch the game live, you can go ahead and go and listen to the Astros play the Rockies at 3:10 on Tuesday on Sirius XM. Just download the SXM app and listen to all the play-by-play and action there. And hopefully the Astros bats continue because we saw some great blast from Jose Abreu today. This was, I think it was, what was it, 452 feet. This was like his third high. I think it was tied for his third highest of his career. Definitely his longest of his Astros career. And so it was a bomb. And it was just.
Do you know what number it was in his career?
No.
It was his 250th home run of his career.
Cool.
Yeah, so they just showed that. They just put it up on MLB.com, his 250th career home run. And look, tomorrow, y'all are going to enjoy an episode that I did with Chris Castellani talking about the future of the Astros the second half of the season. And we were talking about Abreu and how he doesn't have 30 home run power, but every once in a while he seems to really plant the ball in the seats. And this was a no-doubter. This was a second deck, Eric. And I don't know if you watched the replay on his swing. It looked like a power swing. It didn't look like a dink swing. It didn't look like an unsure. Like his confidence, I think body language wise is 100% different than what it was even 3 weeks ago. So he settled in nicely. And how important is it for someone like Abreu to be hitting the way he's been hitting in June, even starting in July without Alvarez? Because when Alvarez comes back, you've got more protection. You've got more people in the lineup that can hit. That's only going to be to the advantage of the rest of the Astros lineup, top and bottom. So with him contributing and Tucker, dude, we might as well call that the house that Tucker built because he's got like 6 home runs at Globe Life Field alone in his career. And he hasn't even played a ton of games there. What an offensive output. Some people say an ugly win. Maybe an ugly win, but I think it's a great win because you showed resiliency on all fronts. Even when pitchers failed, other pitchers picked them up. But the bats, man, what a game. What a game. These power bats came through. I freaking loved it, dude. Chas McCormick, again, that's why he's my player of the game because not only offense, but his defense as well.
Yeah, going back to Abreu, he has 6 home runs since June 9th, so he's definitely turned it on a little bit. Everybody was complaining, well, you need to send him down to AAA, which you can't, by the way. But everybody was just saying you need to get rid of him. He's the worst the worst player ever. But with a player like him, yeah, this is probably the longest he struggled in his career to get started. But we've seen players like Kyle Tucker get off to slow starts, Alex Bregman in the past. So you've got to be patient with these players. And now Abreu is showing why you got to be patient with these players, because he's just tearing the cover off the ball. And then Tucker hasn't really been hitting for a lot of power, but we saw him with that double in the first inning. Then he was stranded. Unfortunately, we saw Altuve with he didn't swing a pitch in his first at bat and walked.
Saw that.
How rare is that? And then in its second at bat, Altuve, after Maldonado drew a walk, he swung at the first pitch and popped up. And it's like, yeah. Altuve, come on. I know that's your thing, man, but come on. After Maldi, of all people, just drew a walk, just take a pitch or something. But I know he hits home runs every once in a while. But that double in the ninth inning was just a great, and off of Will Smith. And a lot of people I know in the comments are saying that probably eventually Aroldis Chapman will probably take over for Will Smith as the closer. We'll see what happens, but Will Smith has been pretty good as their closer this year.
Until this game. But, they mentioned Sparky and Ford mentioned on the radio, because I happened to be at the store the last inning and a half picking up some groceries. And they were saying that, Will Smith, he's won a World Series ring, 21 and 22.
Right.
And I wonder if some people in Arlington were like, maybe he'll bring us a ring, almost kind of like Robert Horry in the NBA, where he would get traded and he would just be on teams that won. I still think in the end the Astros do it. I still think in the end the Astros have the team that comes out on top. It still would be kind of fun, Eric, to have an Astros versus Rangers ALCS. I mean, who wouldn't want that in Texas? I think the Rangers, though, would be a little bit tougher matchup for the Astros. Why? Because they do have battle-tested veterans who do have playoff experience versus another team who might not be as experienced in the playoffs. So where they go head-to-head, I think the Astros' experience overall gets them over the hump. But, Eric, I mean, this AL West battle, you and I, nor anybody, we didn't see them battling with the Rangers. We saw them battling with the Mariners. Right. And maybe the Rangers kind of coming up. We knew the A's were kind of going to be a bottomless pit, but the Mariners have absolutely disappointed, and they come to Houston before the All-Star break. So let's hope we just keep the winning ways versus the Rockies and the Mariners.
Well, if you saw it on the broadcast, they showed back in 2015 at this time, the Angels were leading in division. The Astros were like maybe a half game or a game behind them at this time. And the Rangers were 7.5 games behind the Angels. And then the Rangers went on in that season to win the division. So they went roaring back, and then the Astros won the wild card, as we know, and then went on to face the Royals. And then we have Game 4 that we all remember against the Royals, where they went single, basically. So that just says that the Astros still have a chance. Where they sit on July 3rd doesn't mean anything. So the Astros now find themselves 3 games back behind the Rangers. So worst case scenario, you get swept in the series, and you would have been 9 games back. Yeah. That would have been disastrous. But now here you are, 3 games behind them. So that's pretty darn good.
Yeah, I think it's excellent. And again, we can't emphasize enough that it is without Yordan Alvarez. Jose Urquidy's coming back. This is a team that's going to heal. This is a team that, look, I saw a tweet earlier, and I was surprised at how much. I didn't realize this, Eric. I think this tells us that we need an arm 100% at the deadline, because I retweeted something from Apollo Media. 37% of the Astros games have been started by rookies. 1/3 of their innings pitched have been rookies. 45 games, 31 games started, 245 innings pitched, a 3.93 ERA, which is below league average, I believe, 249 strikeouts and 95 walks. So the load management is key here with these young arms. You got young arms going longer and farther and doing more than they've ever done in their career. And so I think that really makes it even more imperative that they get an arm out there. And people love your polo, by the way. They want to know where you got it. I think you got that. Is a Space City one. Didn't you get that at the gift shop?
Yeah, Team Store. I just put it in chat.
Okay, Team Store.
Team Store.
Oh, okay, you did. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so, for those of y'all listening, look, the experience you get here is you get to check out our fits, Look, hey, man, I got this really cool Altuve pin. It says "We Want Houston" from Berto, from Roberto on. Look, that's Jose Altuve with the "We Want Houston" crown. But so anytime you want to know what we're wearing, let us know. We'll hook you up. We're not selling anything, but we love our audience. Thank y'all for hanging out. Look, if you and your buddies love hanging out, love brews, love baseball, and you like Hooters, then check out Hooters, because Hooters makes you happy. Whether you're in Humble, Katy, Sugarland, Pearland, Pasadena, Baytown, Galveston, or anywhere in between, Hooters is the place to go. That's right. Let me tell you about their specials. Weekly, Mondays, buy one, get one wings. Tuesdays, $9.99 burger and fries. Wednesday, boneless wings, buy one, get one. Thursday, $19.99 wings and Big Daddy bundle. Friday, $19.83 crab legs. Saturday and Sunday, kids eat free. Also, Monday through Friday, 2 to 7 p.m., they have happy hour and 10 p.m. to close. Anytime, $3 Blue Moon drafts, and so much more. Coming up this week, July 7th, at Pearland Hooters, the Locked On Astros podcast will be live, 4 o'clock p.m., a pregame podcast. Come pregame with us. We're giving away 2 sets of tickets donated to us from H-Town Bingo. They are 2 seats for 2 different games. Rangers, I believe Rays, if I'm not mistaken, Crawford box seats. That's right. But you got to be there in person. You can't be on the show listening. You got to be there live with us, hanging out. They're going to be doing wing eating contest, a frozen t-shirt contest, all kinds of stuff is going to be fun. So check that out, and make sure that wherever you go to Hooters, let them know that the Locked On Astros guys sent you. With the world famous Hooters girls, the best service. Why? Because Hooters makes you happy. And the Astros play the Rockies Tuesday at 3:10 p.m. for a sure-to-be firework-loaded game. The Astros play the Rockies. Catch every pitch of the Astros hometown broadcast with SiriusXM and the SXM app. Search Astros. I mean, look, if you're hanging out with family, you can't go to the game, listen to Sparky and Ford on SiriusXM.
All right. So I think you should do the frozen t-shirt contest. I think you.
No, it's not. No, it's a frozen t-shirt that you try to take apart and open up. It's not wearing a frozen t-shirt. Get your mind out of the gutter.
All right. Yeah. So go check us out live. I know some of y'all have come out to one of our live broadcasts. So this is your opportunity in the Pearland area to come out and see us live, interact, and it's always fun to meet some of our listeners. So some of our everydayers. So if you're an everydayer, come out. So definitely today's game was much needed. The Astros are now 47-38. The Rangers are now 50-35. I think I saw somewhere where they're 10 and 15 in their last 25 games. So, or something like that, where they've been struggling a lot recently. So the Astros are getting a little bit better. Yes, they've kind of struggled a little bit, but it seems like everything's kind of clicking a little bit more recently. But one thing that may have plateaued a little bit is Michael Brantley's recovery, apparently. So while he may be running around the bases like kids do on Sundays at Minute Park, I don't know if he's going to be making any type of minor league appearance anytime soon, because he was supposed to face Jose Abreu once they get back to Minute Park on Tuesday, but apparently they have canceled that and kind of slow things down. They haven't called this a setback or anything, but they just said that it's plateaued. So let me go ahead and read the exact thing. So a reporter said, has Brantley increased his workload or kind of plateaued a little bit? He said he's plateaued somewhat. We want to increase it, but then we don't want to have to go backwards either. I'd rather have it plateau for a while than increase it. So it kind of seems like the reporter was leading the witness, and Dusty Baker just kind of went with that word. Oh, cool. Let me just go with that word.
Well, look, that was Chandler Rome. There's no anonymity here. He put it out there. He deserves it. Okay. So look, Chandler Rome put the quote out there at first. I reacted to it. And then he put, Here's the whole conversation. I'm like, come on, man. How are you going to release half the statement and then the whole statement later? Let me tell you how I interpret this. I'm calling BS. I think they're afraid that Michael Brantley will not be able to come back. They're just not willing to say it publicly. They either don't want their needs to be known, so the other clubs don't know that they're out there searching for a true bat, another left field bat, or they are just in denial. Because I can tell you right now, I will be 100% shocked if Brantley takes a single at bat this season. Look, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, and I know I'm your ultimate, always positive, always Astros guy, but this is getting pushed back way too much. And you don't plateau a guy that you think is going to advance and possibly take some rehab starts. The first warning sign and the first tea leaves y'all should have read was when he started in the minor leagues and then they shut him down. That right there was a bad sign of his progress coming back. They say they learned a lesson, or it's storied that they learned a lesson with Myers rushing him back. But apparently they didn't, because they rushed Brantley back. There's no way to spin that. I mean, the spin doctors and the PR directors can spin it how they want to. Brantley's 36. He had shoulder surgery. Not everybody reacts the same to shoulder surgery. I'm not a physical trainer. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a physician, okay? I'm not Brett, the doctor, okay?
You did stay in the Holiday Inn Express last night, though.
Actually, I did not. But thank you, though. Yes, I love the tagline. Thank you, Eric. Hi-hat, snare. Anyway, so look, why am I saying this? Because I think it helps the Astros know what they need to go get at the trade deadline. And I think the silver lining here, hear me out, is that if you know you don't have Brantley, you know exactly what it is you have to go get at the trade deadline. It helps focus, and they better not be on denial. They better not wait until the trade deadline day to go, oh, by the way, Brantley's not coming back at all. Now let's do like an emergency 24-hour go grab somebody. They better start being on the phone right now, calling, talking. I think they need another pitcher. I think they need another bat. I do think Urquidy and Alvarez coming back are like a trade deadline acquisition, because what they offer, and Urquidy is going to be fresh, and you can't replace Alvarez's bat. So I don't think it's as bad and as grim as people think. I just think it's bad that they paid him this much to probably not play a single inning for the Astros in 2023.
Well, I'm not going to be as doom and gloom as you are. I think when they say
I'm not doom and gloom. I'm trying to be realistic, Eric. Now, doom and gloom is like
talk.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But yeah, I'm not going to be all like the sky is falling with him. I just think that they're just maybe slowing it down because they don't want to risk what happened earlier this season. So they're probably like, maybe he felt some mild discomfort or soreness or something. So they're just kind of slowing it down a little bit, and we'll see what happens from there. But some good news is that Alvarez was playing some catch in the field today, and he's been I think he's been taking some hits in the cage, so that's good. Urquidy should be facing some live hitters in batting practice tomorrow, but so now we just don't know about Michael Brantley. So I think it's all depends on what happens there, and I think there is some validity what you said about maybe they're going to wait till after the trade deadline to really announce what's really going on with him, because that they don't want teams to know how desperate they are for another outfielder or another bat.
And look, and here's why I say that, Eric, because the field of those buying right now is so big. I mean, look, the Marlins in the National League are even in it. We can't even talk about getting Jorge Soler if we wanted him, because I mean, the market is massive. It's not two or three teams. It's 6 to 10 teams.
Right.
And I think it just makes it difficult. This is not a buyer's market. It's a seller's market, and people can drive up the price, and they're going to drive up the price on you if they know that one of your key guys is out. Oh, well, you need somebody, huh? All right. Well, maybe you throw in this guy too, because we know you really need our guy. So I think it's a chess match. I trust the Astros. I trust Dana Brown. We got to remember that's why they brought Dana Brown here. Dana Brown is very smart baseball-wise. It's not going to be a Dusty Baker decision, but Jim Crane and Dana Brown will make, I believe, a wise decision. It's not going to be Jeff Bagwell. Y'all can quit bagging on him. Y'all can quit bagging, whatever. But, hey, what a win. Series win. 3 out of 4, Eric, going into the holiday. Look, again, we won't be doing a live show, right?
Yeah.
But I'll be posting a show that I do with Castellani tomorrow, so y'all will see that when it premieres.
All right. So since 2019, the Astros, when scoring 10 runs, they are now 71-1 since 2019. That would have been pretty bad if they are now 70-2. The last time they lost with scoring 10 runs was against the Rangers on April 21st of 2019. So that would have been a weird situation. And Brandon Bielak will be making the start. They're going to go and push JP France back, give him extra day of rest. So he'll be pitching on Wednesday, and Brandon Bielak will be pitching against the Rockies on Tuesday. So that's the other news. And something I did kind of tease this earlier, so I'm going to go ahead and say what Dana Brown said. This was a comment. I don't know if you talked about it on the Friday show, but he said, we're exploring trading major league players for major league players with teams that are contending that make sense. We have a lot of outfielders right now. If we can move an outfield piece for something that could fill another need, we probably be interested in doing that. Player for player. Yeah, we have to get creative to open up the market. We're definitely exploring that.
Yeah, definitely. And that's just, I just really want, I just want the Astros to make a calculated move that doesn't hurt us, that helps the club in the long run. And I'm just super excited about Urquidy coming back. I think Urquidy is going to have a great second half of the season. It's going to take some stress off of these young arms, Eric. I think it's going to give some guys some needed rest. And you just hope that the bullpen holds the line, that guys like Tucker and Bregman continue to heat up. And hey, guys, if you're in here watching us live, please give us a like, hit that thumbs up in there. We like to know that you are enjoying what it is that we're doing here at Locked On Astros.
And the Astros will be playing the Rockies. The Rockies are 33-53. So theoretically, on paper, they've got a chance to win this series, but you can listen to all the play-by-play action on SiriusXM. The first pitch starts Tuesday at 3:10 Central Standard Time. Just download the SXM app and search Astros, and you can listen to Steve Sparks and Robert Ford with all the play-by-play coverage. So that's all we got for this edition of the Locked On Astros podcast. I'm super excited about the Astros winning this game. We didn't get a chance to really talk about the Rockies series that much, but that's definitely going to be a homecoming, and they came home on a positive note. So my name is Eric Huysman. You can find me on Twitter at Eric Astros. You can find Brett at H-Town Wheelhouse, and we are the Locked On Astros podcast. And make sure you can subscribe to us, make us your first listen, become a everydayer, and go Astros.
That's right. Thank you for tuning in. Let the fireworks begin. And hey, guys, y'all be safe and y'all enjoy your family. Happy 4th of July. Happy Independence Day.